Counseling. Sometimes it can be hard to talk to someone about how you are feeling because those thoughts and feelings can be so scary, but you really need to do this. Find a friend or an adult whom you can trust. This person can help you to find a professional to talk to, or if you have a family doctor, you can ask the doctor for a referral. It really aggravates me and makes me kind of hysterical talking about your feelings because they are so terrible. Hearing them come out of your mouth is kind of devastating. Claire, 17. Getting counseling for the first time. Getting counseling. If the first counselor you see isn't a good fit for you, get another one until you find the right one who is a good fit for you. Most likely there is someone who is a good fit. For me, it hasn't gone away, but it has certainly become a lot easier. I used to engage in some self-harming behavior and eating disorder stuff, and now I'm way far away from that stuff. I'm miles and miles better than I was. I think it's harder when you're a teenager because you're going through so many other things that inevitably, I think, get better when you get older. I hope that keeps being true. Marley, 22. Counseling is the word people often use to describe the act of listening to and advising someone. You might also hear people refer to counseling as talk therapy, psychotherapy, or supportive counseling. Through counseling, you can learn how to tackle the stresses in your life and develop a resilience against your depression. Choosing a counselor. Your first visit with a doctor or counselor can be a bit frightening, but knowing what to expect can make it easier. There are different kinds of professionals you might go to depending on who recommends them and what you can afford. Some of them who be accredited, which means they are regulated by a specific professional organization, while others may not be. The fact that someone is a member of a professional organization does not mean this person will be the best choice for you. A good choice includes a good fit of personalities and a comfort level that suits you. Basically, though, I felt they weren't really understanding what I was saying, or that I actually physically couldn't get out of bed. They thought I just didn't want to get up. There's a big difference, and they can't get it. So I had a bad experience with counselors on the whole. Isabel, 22. The average of seeing someone who is accredited by a professional organization is that you know the person is being regulated and you can contact the organization if something goes wrong. Also, someone who is accredited will have completed a certain amount of education combined with a significant amount of clinical training. This experience may provide the counselor with insights and resources that someone without the background may lack. Types of counselors. When you are choosing a counselor, you have quite a few options. The following types of counselors, also known as mental health professionals, are extensively trained and must be accredited in the United States and Canada. Psychiatrist. When completing a medical degree, a doctor chooses an area to specialize in, which then becomes the focus of their work. A psychiatrist is a doctor who has chosen to specialize in mental health, such as child psychiatry. Psychiatrists can draw prescriptions for medication and can also order physical tests such as blood work. Family doctor. Some family doctors are trained in psychotherapy and provide counseling. All family doctors can write prescriptions for medication. Psychologist. A psychologist will have a graduate degree in psychology and will have spent a significant amount of time doing clinical training. Psychology will often specialize in a specific area, shown as child psychology. Psychiatric nurse. A psychiatric nurse is a registered nurse who has trained in psychotherapy and extensive experience with working in psychiatrics. Social worker. To be an accredited social worker, someone must have achieved a graduate degree in social work and will have completed a significant amount of clinical training. There are social workers in school, in community centers, and in private practices. There are other professionals who can offer invaluable support to you, but they may not be accredited. These include youth workers, pastoral counselors, and school counselors. They may be people you feel more comfortable talking to, and they will most likely be able to hook you up with the resources you need if you require more support than they can offer you. This can be a great place to start. The counselor was extremely helpful. She made me realize that I wasn't pathetic and that there are other people going through this, and that although it's a big part of your life, it's just an obstacle you have to get over. She made the point of saying that this wouldn't happen just once in my life, that life goes up and down many times, and that's what makes it worthwhile, really. You can't really know what happiness is without knowing what sadness is. That was a big part of it. Caroline, 19. Many professionals whose costs are not covered by health insurance will arrange their fees on a sliding scale to accommodate what you can afford, a sort of pay what you can approach. What to expect. A first visit will pretty much be the same with any of those professionals. They will probably ask you to tell them a bit about yourself, why you are there, and what you hope to get out of counseling. It can be hard shopping around for the right person because every time you try someone new, you have to tell your story all over again. Don't give up, though, because once you find that right person, they can become really important in your life for years to come. This does not mean that you necessarily need counseling for a long time, but once you have made a connection with someone, you may find it comforting to be able to come back and see that person as the occasional crisis pops up in your life and you require a little extra support. It's important to trust your counselor and to believe that they have your best interest at heart. If you do not feel this way, you need to find another professional. You have to have the right to switch counselors whenever you want to.